Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Jag here. And in today's class, we're going to continue with our Math 11 content. And the topic is going to be on exponents. Okay, so with that, let's get started. All right, so here we are. So I just put down exponents. What we're going to cover is several different types of examples, including also rational exponents. Okay, so let's start off with this question. I'm going to read it out loud. Okay, it says simplify, express the answers using only positive exponents. Okay, so let's try this one. It's x to the power of negative 2 times x to the power of negative 3 and times x to the power of 4. So you see how you're basically multiplying all of these x values here. So what we're going to do is just add these exponents together. So negative 2 minus 3 plus 4. Okay, and what I'm left with here is going to be x to the power of negative 1. Okay, does everyone see that? So this becomes negative 5 plus 4, which is negative 1. Again, I want to take the x to the bottom. Okay, and that way all the exponents are positive. So this is x to the power of negative 1. When you take it to the bottom, it becomes 1 over x to the power of 1. Okay, but remember, we don't need to actually write the 1 here. So we're going to just leave it the same. Okay, are there any questions? Good. All right, let's go to our next example here. So we're going to try this. This is a squared and then b to the power of negative 3 over a to the negative 1 and b squared. Okay. So I do notice I have two variables here, a and b. I'm going to just subtract the exponents. Okay, so say I'm doing a here. Okay, I'm going to do 2 minus negative 1, so a to the power of 3. Okay, and look very closely, okay? So negative 3 minus 2, which is going to be b to the power of negative 5. Again, I want to make sure all the exponents are positive here. So don't leave this as your final answer or the teacher will take off half a mark. Okay, b has a power of negative 5. I'm going to take it to the bottom. So a to the 3 over b to the 5. Okay, and this would be my final answer at the very end. All right, so with that, let's try one last example that's associated with the exponents. Okay, and let's try this one. So this is 2u to the power of 3, v to the negative 2, and the whole thing is to the power of negative 3. Okay, so again, I have to make sure, even if it's a negative exponent, okay, this isn't going to be, it's not 2 times negative 3, it's 2 to the power of negative 3, okay? And then you can just multiply these exponents here, the power rule that I'm applying. So I'm doing 3 times negative 3, so u to the negative 9. And for v, I'm going to do negative 2 times negative 3, positive 6, okay? I want to make sure I'm simplifying everything here as well, okay? So I'm going to make this, take it to the bottom. So it's 1 over 2 to the power of 3, okay? Because it was negative here. On the bottom, it becomes positive. And u to the negative 9, v to the 6. And in this last step, I'm going to actually simplify everything as well. So this becomes 1 over 8, okay? I see that the v6 is on the top, so we'll just change it to v6. I'm going to take the u to the bottom because this is u to the negative 9. On the bottom, it's going to be u to the positive 9. Okay, and this is my final answer at the end. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that? Good, that looks good. Okay, in this next example, okay, what we're looking at is evaluating powers involving the fractional basis. Okay, so we are going to simplify this. So let's do something simple. So say it's 1/3 to the power of negative 1. Okay, when I have a fraction and there's a negative exponent like this, I'm just going to flip over the fraction. So let's put an arrow. And this just becomes like 3 over 1 to the power of positive 1. Okay, because this is a very simple example, okay, this is going to actually be my answer. But the 1 exponent is applied to both the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so this is actually just 3 over 1, which is equal to 3. Okay, so let's try an example, okay, where I have something different as a fraction here. Okay, so we're going to try negative 27 over 8 to the power of negative 2. Okay, and the reason we're doing this example is so you can see how the exponent is going to change here. So again, I notice that I have a negative 2 outside. And I have a fraction, so I'm going to just flip over my fraction. So it's going to become 8 over 27, okay, to the power of 2. Okay, and both of these, oh, sorry, it's negative, right? So let's just keep you keep the negative sign there, actually, okay? And if you want to, I'm just going to write it separately. So it's going to be negative 8 to the power of 2 and 27 to the power of 2. Okay, remember inside the bracket, there's only one negative sign, and I'm actually just flipping over what's found inside the brackets to change this negative 2 to positive 2. Okay, that doesn't mean the negative sign actually goes away here. Okay, and then I'm applying the negative sign just with one of the numbers, either with the negative 8 or the 27. Okay, in this case, I'm just putting it with the negative 8. So negative 8 squared is 64. Okay, and 27 squared is going to be 729. Okay, does everyone see that? Okay, and that's my final answer. Okay, always make sure you're checking to see if you can reduce, okay, your answer as the fraction. And if you can, make sure you're just simplifying it. Okay? All right, so let's go to basically the next type of rules. Okay, this is in terms of rational. So let's write that here. Okay, this is rational, okay, exponents, which is a very important topic, okay, in grade 11. So let's try an example here. Okay, the question does say to evaluate. So I'm going to write this out here. So this is actually 8 to the power of 1 over 3, okay? And if you look at it, the top number here, this indicates the power, whereas the bottom number indicates the radical, okay? And so when you write this as a radical, because this is the 3 that indicates the radical, I'm going to put the 3 outside the brackets, and the exponent is to the power of 1, okay? So this is actually the cube root of 8. I'm looking for a number. When I multiply it by itself 3 times, it should give me 8. Okay? And therefore, I know the answer is 2, because I could do 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. And the exponent is to the power of 1. So 2 to the power of 1 is equal to 2. Okay? So just like this. Okay, so let's try one example, because that was a simple example right there. Okay, and you can also just put it in your calculator as well. So we're going to try negative 32 to the power of 1 over 5. Okay, so say this is my question now. Okay, and again, so the top number here is the exponent, and this bottom number, okay, I'm going to put negative 32, is the radical. So this is actually like the 5th root of negative 32. I'm going to put to the power of 1. Okay, so remember what you've been using before has been like the cube roots or the square roots. And the square root, you don't actually have to put the number outside. It's assumed that that's a 2. Okay, now if I put the 5th root in my calculator, okay, the function or the actual button is like, you'll see the YX button. Okay, and or it's also like, so this is actually the exponent one if you want to use the exponent function. Okay, there should also be like an XY, okay, or it might be also like reversed. And check that function on your calculator so you can directly just put in the 5th root of negative 32, which is negative 2. Okay, however, if you're just trying to do it mentally, you could do that as well. You're looking for a number. You're going to multiply this number by itself 5 times, and it's going to give you negative 32. Okay, so you can also try that on your calculator. Okay, so with that, let's try one last example here. Okay, so let's try this one. So I have 16 over 81. And it's to the power of 1 over 4. Okay? So say I'm changing this now. Again, this is the radical. So it's going to be like this. The 4th root of 16 over the 4th root of 81. So just like this. Okay? So again, I'm looking for a number. When you multiply it by itself 4 times, it should give you 16. So I know that is 2. A number that you have to multiply 4 times to give you 81 is 3. So I'm basically just multiplying 2 by itself 4 times. I know that's 16. Okay, or 3 to the power of 4, which is equal to 81. Okay, does everyone see that? And this is basically going to be my final answer. And the final answer is 2 over 3. Okay? All right. So that looks good. And if there are no questions, that does bring this video to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see everyone in the next video. Thanks. Bye.